with all your heart. Missing someone. Love with heart.
Hi everybody, Lucilla. Hope everybody's well and health and with somebody they're happy with and safe with, most important of all. Hope everybody's coping with this COVID and what's now happening with all the confusion with the restrictions being lifted, not being lifted, what the federal's saying to what the states are saying. Pretty confusing, isn't it? Well, yes, and everything else is confusing to now the topic and discussions and debates and arguments and blame gaming to one another and the countries of where this COVID originated from. There's so much that we have to digest in the last couple of months. It's been mind-boggling, staggering. But still in all, we have to come to terms and grips with this, and it's not easy to do because we don't know from one day to the next what's really happening, and with the security and the insecurity of society now facing unemployment to the levels now that the government's finding that it's out of control. They can't control it. What they promised about the payments aren't being delivered. There's millions out there on the breadline that can't afford to even survive. And, well, they're being given a bit of a reprieve as far as rent goes, but when does that end? And also with the payments, when do they end? Now the government is panicking because they've realised what they've said a month, 2 months ago when it first started, what they were going to promise, what they were going to deliver to the Australian people. They haven't. And that's disappointing. And everybody now in society is suffering because the economy is broken. And the Prime Minister says, of course, that to recovery is to regain and open the economy. Well, that's great. But the thing is, people are scared. And he made it quite clear in the beginning it was the states to handle their own matters. Now they are. The federals are all up in arms. They don't know what to do. They're mind-boggled. And the thing is, the economy is breaking down. They say in stages they're going to do things. Well, people are now getting irritated. There's friction in the nation because now people are breaking down. Individuals are breaking down. Families are breaking down. People's mental health is breaking down. And with that, physical health breaks down. Now, the economy has now got to be kick-started. And if the states don't work with the federals, then nothing's going to happen. The restrictions are going to stay. Martial law will be martial law. And after all, we're not going to see any headway, any real sign of any indication that they're going to, no matter what they say, from one thing to another, that this vaccine or a vaccine, yeah, they are working on it, but how long will it take? A year to 18 months? Or, as they promised, sooner? I don't see that happening. and also with the debate that with country to country now blaming one another, with scientists being blamed, with individuals being blamed, with what's happening with the origin of COVID. Now they've all stated they don't know whether it was laboratory made, individually made, man-made for, biological weapon for warfare, or was it in the wet markets? Nobody knows. You won't know. But one thing they do know is it originated from bats. Now the thing is, bats are here in Australia a protective species. We understand that. But if you are an individual and you watch bats, if you do have them in your suburb, their behaviour, what they do, I, as an individual, believe that they do and are responsible for this COVID. It mutated from them to an animal. Now, whether that animal was infected and it mutated from animal to human, we won't know. But you can only read between the lines. Bats, they do carry the COVID and the virus. So that's my opinion. So with all the debates going around the world, the leaders of the world should be now uniting instead of fighting and working with their close countries to get their economies back, as we are with New Zealand. Now, a lot of our products and so forth come from New Zealand, they're tops. A lot of things that we buy in supermarkets are from New Zealand. Our first holidays will be in our own backyard in Oz and New Zealand. Now, if we can do that, a lot of the leaders around the world could do that. If only they could unite. And that way the economy all around the world would be able to be restarted in such a way that instead of imports and exports, and we all know that's a problem, then going from our closest country to country and working and uniting and incorporating what they have to offer and their values is a good thing for the whole entire world, I believe. But with this matter of the debate of COVID, believe you me, if you do and you have experience and you do have bats in your area, do yourself a favour. And you know they're in your backyard eating your date tree, you hear them squawk and whatever else, and you walk around of a morning, you'll identify their poos. Sorry to say, feces, poos. Now, they're highly infectious. Now, with what's going on, the bats now would maybe 1 bat, 10 bats, 100 bats, 1,000 bats, 1,000,000 bats would have that virus. What they would infect: cows, sheep, pigs, chickens, the soil, your dogs, your cats, yourself. So do be aware, if you do have bats and they're in your area or in your backyard, try and do something to clean that up. So you're not walking around, and identify in the morning just by interest to see, look on Google, look on YouTube, what their feces look like, what happens with their feces, how highly infectious their feces are, how you have to wear protective clothing to clean their feces and whatever messes they make up. There's so much involved with bats, it's not funny. So do yourself a favour, if you have bats in your area, in your back trees, whatever else, look it up. They're highly infectious. You need protective clothing. You're highly at risk. And you don't know whether you're highly at risk with this virus. And it does mutate, this virus, by the looks of things. That's one thing they're saying, but they're blaming. It doesn't mutate to animals, it doesn't mutate to animals, it doesn't mutate to humans, it doesn't mutate to humans. But bats are very, very much a concern in the whole entire world. So do yourself a favour. Do some research if you have bats and they're in plagues, or as I said, they're in your backyards and you think they're doing nothing and that they're highly infectious. So do yourself a favour, do a little bit of research and study and be concerned about that. But as I say, look after yourself, and I haven't said my 4 codes for such a long time, and I think I will. They're the 4: respect, dignity, honour and integrity. They'll serve you well, they really will. At this time, we need our faith. So, like, subscribe and comment, and I really hope you enjoyed this YouTube, because I think it's really informative. And as I said, if you have problems with bats in your backyard, try and get rid of them. And do not, and as I said, read up. That's highly infectious. They are. You need protective clothing and everything to deal with their messes. And they make a lot of messes. So, but anyway, until next time, bye from Lisa. Bye.